we like data, we like numbers. Rob, if you can pull up the numbers of what the Vegas odds, right? I mean, if you watch the podcast, we watch the Vegas odds a lot. Adam always brings it up. This is January 23rd of 2024, Rob, if you can pull up the odds on VPs. If you look at the numbers, and I hope the audience can see it, you will notice on this list a ranking. Let me pull it up here on my own. Rob, if you're able to pull it up so people can see it. Is it up yet or no? Okay, there we go. Look at this. So this is January 22nd, VP, year ago. Kristi Noem was what everybody was talking about. Elise Stefanik, name was being dropped everywhere. Vivek, Ben Carson, Nikki Haley, Tim Scott. You don't see Tulsi. Now, pull up today's odds, and I want to start off with this. If you pull up today's odds, this is what you'll notice. Today's odds shows number one, Tim Scott. I believe number two, today, is Tulsi Gabbard as a VP. Okay?
There you go.
Just a very simple question. Do you know something that the rest of us don't know about these? Just simple question. Go for it.
This is news to me too, my friend.
Is it really?
I have not been to that website, and so I wasn't aware of what it was a few months ago, and certainly wasn't aware of what it is today.
I guess the reason why I'm asking is there's this baseball player who has a friend who bets on behalf of him, and he's wondering if it's a good bet to bet on a Tulsi as a VP. The odds are looking, you guys know which baseball player I'm talking about. What's his name? Obviously, he didn't do anything. It was the guy that did it, whatever maybe, but I know a lot of gamblers want to know what's going on here. But Tulsi, with all the crazy stuff that's going on, obviously we got a video we'll show it to you guys here in a minute. I want to show you guys a video. Did you see Newsom's video about Alabama, women, abortion? How many of you guys have seen that video? You've not seen it? Wait till you see it.
Oh,
you won't think it's real.
Are you going to play it?
I'm going to play it.
Okay.
They have to see it for sure on what that video is all about. And then we got a couple things that's coming out with Weinstein today. I don't know if you saw that with what happened with Weinstein in New York. I want to get your thoughts on this. Did you guys hear what happened with Weinstein in New York? Very, very weird. In a state where a guy named Weinstein, who's known for what he's done, New York ends up apparently dropping charges on this guy, but they're going after another guy. What a wild state New York has turned into. I want to get your thoughts on that. The $95 billion bill. We got a bunch of other things that we want to go through. But maybe it's better if I quote you a little bit, and maybe this is part of the hot seat at first. Are you okay with this one? Let's start off with a little bit of a hot seat. Is that okay?
Let's do it.
You know I like you. You know that, right? I just want to make sure I know you know how to fight.
I like the little disclaimer there, PBD.
All right. It's called love. So
I got a friend who's armed with a staccato over there.
So here's what you said years ago, and I think a lot of people today in America maybe are going through what you went through. You are somebody that was the vice chair for the DNC, I believe, right? You are somebody that supported Bernie, and you even talked about Bernie. You are somebody that even voted and supported for Biden. You are somebody that also in the past said to Crystal Ball and Saagar, look, there's no question in my mind that Donald Trump is unfit to serve as president and commander-in-chief. I've said this over and over again. I'm running for president to defeat him for that specific reason. Then in the past, you've said to ABC News senior Washington reporter Devin Dyer, I believe, stoking these racist feelings and stoking religious bigotry in this country, tearing apart an already divided country for his own political gain, is beneath the office of the presidency and undermines the very values and principles of our democracy. You've also said in another statement here, in 2020, you said in a statement following her vote, Tulsi said, I'm standing in the center and I've decided to vote present. This is in 2020. I could not in good conscience vote against impeachment because I believe President Trump is guilty. Then you've also come up and you told, I believe, Tapper, I just came from intelligence briefings from that the administration came and brought to Congress. Really, they provided vague comments, no justification whatsoever for this illegal and unconstitutional act of war President Trump took. You've also said, I can continue a bunch of different things you've said about this. Now, many of us have made a lot of comments in the past before. Many of us used to be a different side politically, but you may have been the one that's pissed off Democrats the most. Why did you leave the Democratic Party to be where you are today?
Every one of you has a book there where I go into detail about exactly why I did that. But, you know, there are a few different things that you cited there in those quotes. And we won't spend too much time dissecting every one of them. But I've made no secret about the fact that there were different decisions that President Trump made that I disagreed with. The one vote that you cited was I was the only Democrat in Congress who did not vote to impeach Donald Trump because I saw what that was exactly. It was a political witch hunt specifically for partisan reasons and how dangerous a precedent that sets. Our founding fathers warned against that impeachment being used for partisan purposes rather than for what it was actually intended for. I never got into the kind of personal smears and attacks that the Democrats did against Donald Trump when he was president, because I felt that for our political discourse in this country, whether we agree or we disagree, we need to stay focused on the substance. A lot has happened in our country from then until now. I was critical of my then party's president, Barack Obama, and earned the ire of Democrats at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I've been known to be an independent thinker and a straight shooter. My country comes first. It always has, it always will. That's what motivates the decisions that I've made. And ultimately what drove me to leave the Democratic Party was how could I, in good conscience, align myself with a party that at every step of the way has become the party that opposes freedom, that completely derides the Constitution and throws it in the trash, doesn't believe that it's relevant to our country today. And as we are seeing over and over, and it looks like we'll talk about some of these examples, at every turn, they are willing to undermine the rule of law and politicize all these government agencies, the Department of Justice, law enforcement, and so on, just to remain in power, going so far as to try to take away every one of our rights to decide who we want to vote for in this election. And they're doing that through the court of law. They've done it through over 32 states trying to get Donald Trump off of the ballot. They are so terrified of we, the American people, making, quote unquote, the wrong choice in their minds, that they are willing to take away our freedom to supposedly protect ourselves and, in their words, to save democracy, to destroy democracy in order to save it. But really what they're doing is just trying to protect themselves. But it shows that twisted mindset, and we saw it in the Supreme Court ruling on that Colorado case with the Colorado ballot, when unanimously the Supreme Court said, no, the people decide elections. A court doesn't unilaterally get to decide who's allowed to be on a ballot and who's not. And the reaction from people like David Axelrod and senior Democrats and the Democrat elite across the board, they immediately criticized the Supreme Court, which included some of people from their team, and threw up their hands and said, oh gosh, I guess the American people have to be the ones to save our democracy. It shows that twisted mindset that I saw building over time throughout the time I was in the Democratic Party, and it got to a point where there was no way I could associate myself with them anymore.
You know why I'm asking that question? And by the way, for those of you that are watching, her book, did the book come out today or?
You guys are getting advanced copies, every one of you.
Right.
The book is not out yet. For those who have put in pre-orders, it will be in your mailbox on May 1st.
Yeah, this is it. By the way, everybody that's here is getting a signed copy by Tulsi, just so you know, before anybody else does. And for people out there that are watching, absolutely. Everybody here is getting a signed copy. And for everyone out there that's watching, Tulsi is officially on Connect. Rob, if you can show her Connect. The first 50 people that connect with Tulsi, we will send you a copy of the book as well signed. We bought copies to get it out there because we are so confident in her message being out there. We feel more people need to hear from her. So the first 50 that connect with Tulsi, ask her whatever questions you got, and those 50 names we're going to send you a copy. Just make sure you're in America. If you're anywhere else outside of America, we're not shipping to you. If you're not in America, don't do the Connect. Only in America we'll ship the copy to your first 50 states. For everyone out there that's watching, Tulsi is officially on Connect. Rob, if you can show her Connect. The first 50 people that connect with Tulsi, we will send you a copy of the book as well signed. We bought copies to get it out there because we are so confident in her message being out there. We feel more people need to hear from her. So the first 50 that connect with Tulsi, ask her whatever questions you got, and those 50 names we're going to send you a copy. Just make sure you're in America. If you're anywhere else outside of America, we're not shipping to you. If you're not in America, don't do the Connect. Only in America we'll ship the copy to your first 50 states. Thank you for that.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.